On behalf of the National Public Housing Museum, we thank you for tuning into our listening series, Out of the Archives. In each episode, we will share a diverse range of stories told by public housing residents from our oral history archive. Each episode features a different theme that responds to our mission to preserve, promote, and propel the right of all people to a place where they can live and prosper, a place to call home. Stories make up the backbone of any culture. They tell us who we are and where we are from. They create empathy and understanding, and they allow us an opportunity to share our experiences and learn from the words of others. The stories in our archive lift up the voices of an oftentimes marginalized community and create a space for important conversations to happen. In this episode, Black is Beautiful, reflections on art, culture, and activism, current and former public housing residents share a range of stories that exemplify not only that Black lives matter, but are creative, full of joy, courageous, and essential. The storytellers you will hear from include Mary Baggett of the Jane Addams homes, Fred Cash of the Dearborn homes, Sequane Lawrence of the Robert Taylor homes, Raymond McDonald of Cabrini-Green, Congressman Bobby Rush of the Hilliard homes, Francine Washington of Stateway Gardens, and Bruce Wilkerson of the Ida B. Wells homes. The stories span from 1953 to the present day.
All right, my name is Sequane Lawrence. You know, we played sports, so that was part of the community bonding, right? Is playing football, right? Which is the big sport for us. I didn't play a lot of baseball. I played some softball, but it was really football was the sport for us back in the 60s. And so that was a big deal. You had parties, but I remember I was so young, so I didn't go to a lot of parties, right? But I remember my oldest brother and my first cousin, again, who was like my sister. I remember them going to parties. So they were teenagers, right? So I remember. So here's the thing, you know, it's kind of like prototypical in a way. It's part of the popular culture, but part of the African American history. But the idea of the doo-wop singers in the hallways on the corner, I saw that. I heard them. So when I look at these movies about the 60s, right, I remember. And so that was part of our community, the parties, the singing, the sports, the social aspects of it, I guess is probably a good way to talk about it, the social constructs. It was just powerful for me as a kid, right? So yeah, that's what I mean. And then we weren't into church really, but I remember that because we had a church across the street and you could see it from our porch. So, you know, the social aspects of it.
Hi, my name's Francine Washington. I'm a public housing resident. I had a paint party. I bought 9 gallons of paint. And I have a lot of friends. So I got all my friends, some of my sisters and brothers, and some of my friends. I bought 9 gallons of paint. And first of all, the paint department is bicep green or cayenne blue. Those are the worst colors. They green and blue that you couldn't stand. And I sat there one night. I saw so tired of these green walls. I don't know what to do. Everything was green through the whole apartment, even the bathroom. So I just had me some. I was going to college, so I got me a magic marker, and I just started in the corner, and I just started drawing shapes all over the apartment, the ceiling. Everybody just got a chair, went to sit and started drawing shapes. It was so nice. Everybody said, "Oh, that's a nice puzzle on your wall." A couple months later, I said, "This puzzle look nice," because on the black permanent marker. I said, "That's a nice puzzle. I need to do something." So I went and bought me 9 gallons of paint, 9 brushes, same size. I got I got about 3, was 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and 5 more friends together, male and female. So we're gonna have a paint party. When we finish painting, I'm gonna feed y'all. And y'all can listen to some music, enjoy y'all work. And I gave everybody a brush and they got to paint. And every 30 minutes, I said, don't paint everything, just paint in the square and make sure you stay inside the line with the shapes. And every 20 minutes, I said, switch this bucket, and we switched, we finished switching. One of my walls actually had the continent of Africa on it. Other wall had a lot of like Doonesbury, Indian little books, had a lot of cartoon characters, abstract, Each one of my walls was so different and so unique. And the colors, they just put colors everywhere. Matter of fact, I got pictures of it at home. And when we finished, we was like, oh man, what did we do? It was so unique, it was so amazing. I could not believe it. It was so amazing. I got my little curtains, all different color curtains, that sheer curtains, put them up to the window to match the paints. Never said they wanted to show off, this. They would bring it to my apartment. Then I got me some red and some blue carpets, put them down, split them in half for the room, red and blue. Although I didn't have no red on my walls, but I had a pink, a lilac, a light blue, a cayenne, yellow, purple. I had about 9 different colors. It was, oh gosh, it was, wish I had bought some of them pictures. It was just, everybody wanted me to paint their apartment. This is me. And I had all kind of stuff on each one of the walls I got from different thrift stores and put them up. This looked like an African wall. This was pirates and ships and stuff like that. This one had the big globes and everything on this wall. You had the curtains over here, and they had little cars up there from the Roaring 20 car, big little metal plate cars I got from the thrift store. It was really nice. And I called myself in the bedrooms. I painted about 5 of them different colors, and when the folks came out, they really was interested in my bedroom walls, especially because they said it looked like the Underground Railroad passage I had painted. And I didn't think nothing like that. I was just doing something to make it look attractive, because I hate looking nothing worse than looking at a bare wall, an all-white wall. I mean, you got kids who have one child in, you got to give them something to focus on. You can't have a pretty, this house is so pretty, you got one picture here, one picture there, the rest of the walls is white. It's nothing for them to make their mind wonder, nothing for them to think about. They need abstract. Every wall was different. And that's how I taught my kids their colors. I had an apartment that had 104 colors in it. I taught my kids, I just go around my baby, what's this color? What's this color? They learned their colors by every color I had in my apartment. One apartment I had to see, it had 104 colors. And my bathroom, since Pac-Man was coming out there, I changed my bathroom. Like I just got, you buy the little meats in the pack and had little that paper, crunch paper in it, the styrofoam paper. I started saving them when I was buying my meats, because I always separate my meats. And I got enough of them, I started cutting out the Pac-Man figures. So my washroom wall, I just painted the Pac-Man with the little Power Men and little bullets. That was so cool.
Hi, my name is Fred Cash. My first apartment was over at 300 South Damon. It was a senior building. It was funded with HUD, and I moved in there from June 1989 till 06, and I was 19 going on 20 when I got my first apartment. And I went and I did some college over at Malcolm X. At that time, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to explore being out on my own. I was just learning how to cope with being disabled. And like I said, I've learned to accept it as the years go by. I've had some medical challenges, asthma, high blood pressure, anemic, you name it, I had it. And I do good, and I thank God for Jesus and people keeping me motivated, and the church keeping me motivated. So the thing of it is that growing up, if you can't, I'm like this, if you can't make it in Chicago, you can't make it anywhere. I'm an old school Democrat. And I've done a lot of political work, political volunteering, and fighting for causes to break barriers for disabled people. And
can you name some of them?
Working with disability advocacy groups, far as we, back in 1979, we worked with Governor James Thompson. He was the governor at the time, and we fought for the health and the healthcare system for the people with healthcare that have healthcare that comes to their house. And also we did did that, and we did some other legislative things and making the pay services that the people are enjoying now. So the thing of it is, back then they didn't have a lot of disability things for the disability. Barriers wasn't being broken like they are now. So we grew. I work with various, like I say, disability groups to get those laws passed with the ADA law and try to make everything more accessible for people with disabilities.
Hi, I'm Raymond McDonald. Shaq.
Shaq.
Yeah, that's what most people where I'm from call me. It's a lot that I didn't know growing up about my neighborhood that I was living in, but what I did know, it was resilient. We marched. We fought the mayors as far as going to his offices and marching on his property, telling him our demands as a community, having a voice. And I'm seeing this in my young years. It was really, really cool to me, just to see the black power, just to see how people have a voice, have something to hold on to. It made a difference to me growing up. It gave me a sense of self, to see others having a sense of self and knowing what they wanted. Home stability in itself with life, a community. And when you see a person fighting for their community, you have to involve yourself, whether you're in that community or not, because you're seeing a multitude of people fighting for a purpose. And that's what the bigger thing for me was, coming from Cabrini, being from Cabrini, was my bigger purpose in life, being from here, from a place with this much history.
My name is Bruce Wilkerson. They had a citywide talent show of all the projects across the city. Okay, and at the time, I was singing. I had a little old singing group that I was a part of, and we won for our area. And there were several. Let me see. You had the Ickies. There was the Ickies housing unit, the Dearborn homes, Wills, Stateway, Robert Taylor, and there's another one on the lakefront there. I'm trying to recall the name. Stateway. It's right there on Oakwood. Started at Oakwood and extended to the Oakwood and Lake Park, and extended south, roughly, I think, to 41st place, or at best, Oakenwall High School. For those of us who lived in that area, they know exactly where the Oakenwall School was. But it started there on the lakefront, right by the IC track, and it extended south for that couple of blocks or so, block and a half, 2 blocks. But anyway, we won the talent show for our area. Out of all the acts and things, we came out on top. Now we went downtown. I'm trying to think of the hotel, but the hotel doesn't exist anymore. But they had the coming together where we actually got to sing. They recorded us that night when we sang, because we sang at the banquet. We were announced as the winners overall. We actually won the citywide talent show, which really was exciting, especially to my family. They was like, "Oh God, Bruce he's a winner at something," But hey, we were just having fun. But anyway, because of that, we got recorded. Like I said, they played our recording on WVON. Okay, what song was we were singing? The Platters song, "I Love You 1,000 Times." That's what we were singing that night. We knew way more than that, but that night, that's what we sang. And they played it. I actually heard the recording the next day on WVON, which just blew me away. It kind of reminded me of the Five Heartbeats when they heard their record on the radio for the first time. Well, pretty much that's what happened to me. I woke up on the tail end of the song, and just in time to hear the DJs call our names and tell why they played the song.
Mary Baggett. Just seeing our kids out here on the streets with nothing to do kind of motivated me to want to step up to the plate to see them have a better life. You know, I mean, people sit around and they don't allow our kids to interact in programs that take place out here. Heartland not getting out, being more active like they should with the community. That kind of really made me step up to the plate, because I looked at them like, you know, you all have all the resource to help get these youth off the street, to be able to send them out job hunting, to put them in a program to show them that they can learn different trades to be able to go out to get the job that they need, skill settings and different stuff like that. And it just pushed me, because all I would see was come into here and see was flyers sitting on a desk. And I'm like, all these flyers on a desk, but they're not reaching out to the community. How would the community know what you have going on if nothing is reaching out to them? So it kind of had made me feel like people only cared about getting a number. And if they got a number quote, they were okay. It's not like they really cared about the peoples themselves coming in to get the job done. It's just they really cared about getting a signature. So it kind of stopped me from signing their paperwork, because all you cared about was, you got my signature. And once you got my signature, it went downtown to CHA, showing that you got your number quote. You met your record, you know, and I just felt like nothing was getting done. It was time to make a change and stay on top of them, stay on top of CHA, stay on top of management and everybody that's supposed to deal with this community overall.
My name is Bobby Lee Rush. I was probably 12, 13 when the civil rights movement, Dr. King, became very prominent on the news, and I would see images of the marches in the South, the boycott, Montgomery boycott, and images of seeing young black people really doing something that I'd never heard of before. And I was attracted to it. Somehow it spoke to my spirit. Prior to that, I would always lament the fact that I was born in the wrong time, because everything had been discovered according to my limited views. At the time, I couldn't discover the West, because the West had already been discovered. All my heroes had gone out and discovered the world, you know, and so what else was there? So what use was there for me? Why was I born in this period? I thought I was born too late for all that. And little did I know that life's horizon are never fully discovered. You know, you always, the potential of life is always there, and the fight for justice and peace and love is always there. It's always there. So that explored spirit, the things I read about, the people I read about, in terms of how they may have discovered the geographical world. There's a spiritual world, and the human world, the horizon for human capacity is just so huge that we can all be relevant. I learned that, and that's why I got into the movement, because I had that urge. I had that yearn to do something, to discover something, to be somebody, to accomplish something, to be an agent of change.
Once again, the NPHM thanks you for listening to this episode of Out of the Archives. This series is supported by the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Illinois Arts Council Agency, the Kresge Foundation, and the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. This episode was engineered by Seth Engel at Palette Sound. We'd like to give a huge thanks once more to our storytellers, Mary Baggett, Fred Cash, Sequane Lawrence, Raymond McDonald, Congressman Bobby Rush, Francine Washington, and Bruce Wilkerson, as well as the members of the museum's Oral History Corps and the other Chicago oral historians who helped to gather these stories, including Shirley Alfaro, Kimberly Cook, Ina Cox, and Shakira Johnson. Thanks again for listening, and we look forward to sharing more stories with you next month.